So you are from South Africa?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Which part of South Africa?
Born and bred in KwaZulu-Natal, Richards Bay. So growing up there, then came to Johannesburg, of course, for opportunities and looking at the industry that I want to pursue. Opportunities are more in Johannesburg. So I spent most of my life in Johannesburg, in the Roodepoort. So then from there, then moved to Cape Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while you're born and bred from South Africa, now you're in Zambia, we still want to get to find out what is your professionalism.
Yeah. So I am the board member and the director at Arisa Audiovisual, the organization that issues out ISRC code in South Africa, and as well as I am the director at Delight Productions,
Okay.
of which is the record label that has worked with mainstream artists and also developing back in South Africa. But we've done such a number of collaborations with other artists from around the world.
Well, so when you talk about that, maybe someone who's in Zambia has no idea what that is about. Maybe explain what the record label is about.
So record label is a company that give a platform to developing artists or even mainstream to mentor them and also to facilitate the recordings of their works, as well as be responsible to appoint a right team for the artist, be it a stylist, be it a PR team, be it a manager, anyone that is involved in making the artist. So the record label is responsible for those roles.
Yeah. So for how long has that record label been existing?
Since 2012.
Okay.
Since 2012, we've been in the game. Yeah, it's been a journey.
So which artists can we say we might be familiar with that are from your record label?
All right, there's X-Ray that we worked with. We worked with Pitch Black Afro. We also collaborated with Mandla Speakery from Trompis. We worked with quite a number of artists that we've worked with, mainstream and developing.
To be honest with you, the reason why I accepted this conversation is because of the similarities of me trying to find out regarding monetization, streaming platforms, and the main agenda why you are in Zambia right now. But I would like to find out, maybe the first question might be, why are you in Zambia?
Yeah, good question. All right. My wife is from Zambia. So she exposed me a lot to Zambian music. So the reason I'm here, one, is family. Number two, also the industry itself. Because me being an executive in South Africa, coming to Zambia and see artists not really being equipped on the business side of things, then that intrigued the interest for me to say, no, you know what, let's create such platforms so that the artists can be equipped when it comes to business music is concerned.
So when we talk about business, what aspect are we looking at?
We're looking at from branding, as an artist, how to brand yourself.
You feel Zambians are not well-branded artists?
At some extent. At some extent, yes.
Which extent do you think Zambians are not?
Look, as I'm saying that the sound that was introduced to me, I expected to be global.
What type of sound was introduced to you?
Even though I do not know the actual genre, but there is a sound that identifies a nation. There is a sound that you say, like Amapiano, you know that people with Amapiano is from a certain region. People with Afrobeat are from a certain region. So Zambia does not mean they don't have that. They do have an authentic sound, but it's never been exposed to a platform where the world can look at it. So that's why we are here today and say, you know, let's work towards that to bring Zambian sound, Zambian music to the world.
We have had countless people come in our country with a similar agenda that you're coming with, saying, I'm still going to do this, I'm going to change this, we want to help Zambian artists are not well branded. It it all goes in vain where we don't see the work. People just come in, make workshops, nothing happens. For you, like what are you doing different?
For sure. You know, we walk the talk. Hence, we have mentioned that it's not really nice. You host a workshop, artists are there, business of music, yada yada. Then that's it. So AMC is here to break that bridge. What we're gonna do different, because there's the whole value chain within the music industry. You need to invite the promoters, of which festival bookers. You need to invite the record labels. Sorry about that. You need to invite people from the law perspective. You need to invite people from the bank sector. Spend your money wisely as an artist. So what we're gonna do as AMC, we are exposing the Zambian sound to the world and the festivals that are coming. Maybe I might mention them if you allow.
Okay. What festivals are those?
Yeah. So we have Lake of Stars from Malawi, Baimba Festival in Uganda, ASGO Festival, and Music Exchange in Cape Town. So they are not only coming here to just talk. They are here also to see which talent or which artist is fit to be given a platform in their stages. That's already something that is achievable. And
Sorry
and
to
also
cut you,
to
but
add,
yeah,
okay,
sorry to cut you, but you mentioned something because you married a Zambian wife.
of course.
Let's try to imagine if you never met this Zambian woman. Do you think you would have known about Zambia?
Absolutely. Check back. I was working on a documentary titled Nkosi Sikelela i-Africa. This was 2008. So Zambia, Tanzania, and South Africa, those were three countries that we were going to make a tour at. Because these countries, we share a national anthem, number one. Number two, there is a lot of synergies, a lot of families that are built here in Zambia now, of which are our grandfathers and great-grandfathers that were from South Africa during exile time. So one way or the other, of course, we were going to make a way to come to Zambia. It was a blessing that God blessed me with a person with the same vision, where we really applaud and push the agenda of development.
If you were to ask me a similar question, just to find out about some of the few artists I know from South Africa, I'll mention a couple of them. There's a question that I felt like you did get to answer, because you're saying there's a sound that was introduced to you. But if we were to ask you a question saying, which Zambian artists do you know? Do you know any of the artists?
Of course, I do.
Okay. Which are those artists? Maybe you just mention three artists that you know from Zambia.
I know Your Maps. I know Ysalab. I know Wezi.
Okay.
I know Michael Zulu. I know Capella. Quite a number of artists that I know.
Who's Capella?
Or Capella, he's more on the animation side, but also he is a producer in music.
Do you guys watching this conversation know Capella? Let me know in the comments if you know who Capella is. I'm here to get to find out about that. But you also mentioned issues to do with branding.
Absolutely.
The artists that you mentioned, do you feel like they lack branding?
Branding is never enough. I think there is a journey, or they need to get to a certain level where their sound is introduced to a village in the Eastern Cape, to a village in Uganda or Ghana. Once you get to that level, then you are halfway through on what you need to achieve as a mainstream artist. Yeah.
How did South Africa reach to this point where they have a sound that you call amapiano, which you call house music? since you've been in the industry, I would like to find out, did you guys also struggle in finding yourselves?
Not really, but a struggle in accepting the sound.
Okay.
Yeah, in accepting the sound, because once you introduce something new, only a few people will buy to an idea at the go. Some takes quite some time to really grasp in it, understand it. It takes some time. So it's the matter of building through the years and also have a very good infrastructure to make it appealing, and also to be a crossover, not only being specific to a certain age group, but it should be a crossover to from young people to middle age to old people. Yeah.
So can we finally say now you're at the point where you feel like South Africans has the sound, there's no more other sound that you're discovering?
We'll continue discovering new sounds. There is no rooftop where we'll say, now this is it. Amapiano coming to the picture. At first, even myself, I was skeptical and said, okay, maybe it's that sound that will just, come and go. But when I got to really understand it, I understand the vision behind it. I understood where it's coming from, what really makes Amapiano, and how can it grow. Because if you can have a look, it's created in a way that if you need tech house, you get it. You need jazz, you get it. You need mpaqanga, you get it. So it's represent quite a vast genres within the region. So for it to really die off, not anytime soon. So I was one of the people that advocated even for Amapiano to have a category at the Summers, South African Music Awards, because looking at its growth, looking at its influence within the society. Yeah.
Let's have a conversation. Like I said, the reason why I accepted about this conversation is because about money wise. But before we go to our Zambian artist, I still want to get find out from you issues to do with money from your experience with your record label. Has it been paying off? Are the artists that you've managed before been making money? If yes, how has that been done? These are things that we need to know. Like, how has it been done? How much money have you been making? Have you been investing in these people and you're still getting back your money?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. You find that you spend so much money in the artist. After the project, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, the artist is pulling off.
That has happened before to you?
Of course. You've spent so much time, so much money, so much sleepless nights at the studio. Artist is pulling off. No, I don't see any progress here. One thing that us as artists we should learn or try to understand, building a brand or an overnight success, those are two different things. Yeah. Because you'll find that you keep on recording. Maybe artists record about 3, 4, 5 albums. Then they record one song. Maybe after 7 years, then that song is a hit. How would you measure that? So those are all things that we need to understand as the people in the industry, whether from the record label perspective, whether you are an artist, whether you are a producer, whether you are a beat maker. Those are the things. Because also you record the song, then it's not relevant then. But after some time, the very same song that you recorded 5 years ago, people start to listen to the song and appreciate it.
How's the contract like? I'm more interested to find out artists pulling out. How's like the contract? What is like the agreement that you have before everything starts?
Yeah. So with us at Delight Productions, mostly we sign a 360 contract. Some other artists or some other record label sign just the recordings part of it, not including the publishing, and not including so many other things that are attached in building the artist. So when you sign an artist for a 360, you must be able to really, really work hard and also do your research about the artist before you sign, because I've done so many mistakes like that before. And a lot of money get to be wasted. A lot of time get to be wasted. So with the contract, be clear first on how do you want to work with an artist. You only want the recordings, or you want recordings and the publishing, or what is it as a record label that you are interested in before even signing the giving an artist that contract to sign. So because some other artists also sign contracts because of excitement, also find that maybe for the next 2 albums that they will be producing, whether they are with the label or not, that label still benefit from that recordings that they are making. So it's quite tricky. That is why if you are really looking to grow within the music industry, you need to be aware of such things. And it's quite sad because you'll find mainstream artists struggling with the same thing, because you'll think that they have everything figured out, of which it's not. And one thing that's make me sad is that we'll organize gatherings like AMC, and mainstream artists will just shy away as, it's for upcoming artists. Are you really, really equipped? Do you really, really know how do you get your royalties? Or you're just getting it from the record label? Okay, this is your statement. Then that's it.
How does the issue to do with royalty in your country work?
It's always tricky, to be honest. As much as, yes, we do have a very good infrastructure. Our CMOs work very hard on that. So they do facilitate the payment of royalties fairly, in my experience, but always there's a pothole.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll find that an artist did register the song with an organization, been playing on radio and, being used by all music users, but the artist does not get their royalties. Then you'll find that somewhere during their notification, the notification was wrong, so they can't trace back to the person that really, really composed the song, or people that are due to get those royalties. Or it happens that those works that are due for payment, the bank account is no longer valid, stuff like that, of which is the artist themselves need to make those follow-up and check. If it's not an artist, you're not signed with any label, you need to do it direct. But if you are signed with the record label and the publisher, they should be able to handle that.
So who's the most paid artist right now from your research in South Africa that you feel like is making a lot of money off the streaming, off the streams?
Streams? No. Streams, sorry about that. Streams, you can't make a lot of money from streams.
So where do artists make money?
Because from streams, per stream, maybe you can get something like 0.0003. So for
which platform is that?
Spotify.
Okay.
Just on top of my head, that's Spotify. So you'll find that your music has been streamed maybe 900,000 times. Then now you expect, a decent amount of money. You'll never get a very decent amount of money.
So where do artists make money from?
Okay, from my end, that's other side in South Africa. It's mostly, of course, royalties, of which, so there's this thing of the blanket licensing from the music users. So once that is settled, they just check which song played more, and they calculate based on that, then they pay your royalties. And also live performances. and also the
So when you talk about royalties, means that how many times a song is playing on radio,
of course,
how many times the song is playing on TV, how many times the song is playing in clubs.
yes, of course, of course. And you'll find that that song has been played, but you didn't notify. You'll never get your royalties.
So who notifies the other?
If you are signed with a record label, they need to notify.
The record
But
label
also-
does that.
Yes, we do that. But also as an artist, as much as the record label does facilitate that, you as an artist, because this is your IP, makes follow up. Hello, have we registered? Have we notified the song? You know, just check that. If you don't get maybe a statement, let's say in 3 or 2 to 6 months, just report on how far are we. Then you do that as a record label. If not, then as an artist, then you need to be on your toes and make sure that you push that for you to really get royalties and everything that is due to you.
I've had conversations with some few couple of people that are born and bred from Zambia. Now they're in diaspora in your country, in South Africa. Since you have a record label, I'm taking this opportunity to get to find out whether TV stations, radio stations do charge for promotion in your country.
No, they don't.
But we've been receiving some red cards from some people who are there. How does that work?
Maybe a rate card from the PR perspective, the PR company. Because we have companies or people that plug music for artists. Then those are the ones that will charge. But direct from the platform, maybe radio or TV, nope. That is Biola.
So why is it so hard for countries that are developing like Zambia, Malawi, a couple of countries that we don't see their music playing more often? What should they do?
Number one,
Is there something that you feel like we miss out, that you see when you are, you know, where we want to learn, we
Yeah.
need to know what are we doing wrong? Maybe there's something that you feel like we are doing wrong that you feel like we need to learn.
it's branding. It's branding. How do you brand yourself as an artist? Presentation. Those are key things as an artist that you need to get right.
What type of presentation are we talking about?
There are some things that as an artist you need to do, and there are some things that you know you don't need to do.
Can we talk about those things?
Whether in public-
The do's and the don'ts.
As an artist, you cannot come late for an interview. You cannot come late for a gig. You cannot give a cold shoulder to your fans, those that group that believe in you. So those are the things, key things that as an artist you need to be aware of.
But in a situation I'm not known, I don't have fans, I'm just pushing my music.
Yeah, but that neighbor that heard your song is a fan already and will speak about you at that Chilangamlilo or to that party or to that event and say, hey, I wish so and so could be on that stage.
Year in, year out, just recently, right, few days ago, we had Casper in the country, was performing. Nasisi, Zambia is like his home. A couple of artists from South Africa have been in Zambia. Is Zambian music playing in South Africa? On the real, though?
Only in the corners. Zambian communities, yes, I agree. But to the mainstream where there is diversity, whether from Venda, Lesotho, or KwaZulu, no. That is why now I said, because Zambia does not lack anything. The sound is good. The artists are great. There is a missing link somewhere, of which AMC is the solution to that. Those are the conversations we'll be having at the AMC.
So you don't want to talk about those things, you are just holding. Because we need to know. We need to learn something. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, these are conversations that people don't want to talk about. They're just keeping them to themselves.
Yeah.
Trust me, Africa, we are all one. At the end of the day, the struggle is similar.
Absolutely.
This is why we're having this conversation right now with someone who's from South Africa, because We want to know, what are we doing wrong? South Africa is the main thing when it comes to Trace, Channel O. These are big platforms.
Yeah.
So how do we open those? I feel like I'm lack of a better word, I'm using them as closed doors, because only few, when we see a Zambian artist play or his song premiere, we just see it maybe once or twice a week. It's not like on a promotion where we need to expect it on a heavy rotation. These are things that we want to find out. What are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
You're still talking about branding. You're still talking about presentation. So if we have all those things, what else are we lacking?
And it's a good thing because you are bringing that. There's social media now, with no borders. You post anything, whether on TikTok or on Facebook, it goes viral. But why we can't have it in some other countries, but only in Zambia? Hence, we are saying there is something that is not done right. Hence, I'm saying that once the artists get to, because you can be an artist, but you haven't found your niche. For example, Fally Ipupa was here not so long ago. He's from another country. But the way it was pegged, you'll swear that he's from the neighborhood. So it's all boils down to the branding, your management, your record label, your team actually. Are they doing enough to push through borders for your craft? Because we have all the tools right now. Social media is one of them. Even at the States, Japan, China, they can see your craft. But why it does not penetrate? As an artist, when you are compiling your team, make sure that you do not take your brother that does not know anything about the industry, or your cousin or whoever, or your friend. You don't do that. Even though maybe a person is not an expert, but you can see the fire, the passion that that person has, that this one will take me places. As much as he's from Kalingalinga or from, Guamashu or wherever in the world, it does not matter, but you see that light, that passion, that this one will work with this brand fairly. Then you will see magic from there.
Let's talk about why you are in Zambia right now. What are you trying to achieve?
All right. We are hosting Africa Music Conference from the 29th and 30th of May, where we've invited the music professionals from here in Zambia and outside the country to come and discuss the business of music and the way forward on how can we better the chances of Zambian sound to be heard, whether diaspora or around the world. Because also the people that are coming, especially in the panel discussions, are people that are very vested in the music industry, who has made brands, who has, broke artists so much, whether from sync deals, your music to play on adverts, stuff like that. So we have all those experts coming to the country and share the know-how, and also, learning each other on how do we take the talent forward.
In case I'm going to watch this conversation after the conference, at the end of the day, right there as well, what other things are you putting across to make sure that a young person that could not attend the event, but they can still stand a chance to be part of your label or maybe learn something? How can they learn?
Of course. We have a website, www.amc.cx. It's where we are available in terms of the knowledge or information about us. And also we'll be having workshops after AMC throughout the country, from Livingstone coming all the way to Lusaka and to East Province, to Nola. So we'll be hosting workshops where we will be, touching the artists from the ground. Those that are interested, of course, to be part for Delight Productions, we have a surprise for those ones at the AMC, because we have a slot I can announce now, where we'll be giving an artist, whether developed or still developing, we'll be giving them a certain kit to make their journey quite easier in the industry and also penetrate the world market. Yeah.
Okay. Have you tried to reach out to the renowned artist though?
Sorry?
Have you tried to reach out to the renowned Zambian artist?
We reached out to a few that were at our disposal, of which I believe through your channel, it will reach everyone. So it's not something closed off. Whether you are viewing this today or tomorrow or next week, we are still available in our platforms.
A lot of Zambians have been scammed before. What proof do we have that this is all a scam?
No, it's never a scam. We are a very reputable organization, looking at also our history and our involvement in the music industry.
You don't want to make money?
Of course, there's no one who does not want to make money.
You are making money off this?
This one is free in attendance. We are not making any revenue from this, but going forward, then it's where we'll be starting to now charge when it comes to administration. You want to come, then there's a very little fee that we'll be charging, but also it does not even come to the company, but it will be growing the brand itself, because hence I'm talking about the workshops that will be rolling out through the country. We will need funding for that. So it's unfortunate that this year, even my wife said, Bheki, are you sure about this? Because I took it from home, basically, to stage this event, because I so much believe in Zambian music. I so much believe in Zambian craft that it needs to be heard. It needs to be given a platform in world stages. So there's not even a single company or single person that will come and say, no, I've put 5 kwacha there to make this event. There's no one that will come and claim that.
What duration should we give you?
Come again?
Duration.
With AMC?
Yes. In Zambia.
100 years and more. This is...
For you to succeed. My question is, for you to succeed and we say at the point that you know that you've helped a Zambian artist, is there like a duration of time?
Of course, that is within our business plan. After a year, we need to achieve this. Besides the AMC, besides Africa Music Conference, because with that one, it's only new information sharing, giving artists that platform, even to showcase. We won't say that we'll make revenue out of that. But where the record label is concerned, then it's where the business plan is coming from. Then after a year, we need to achieve certain goals. After 2 years, after 5 years. So there are some elements that we've put in place that after 5 years from now, we need to have an artist that is worldwide from Zambia through the record label.
If some of the artists from a record label failed, I was doing some research. Some artists haven't done well from a record label. They're not yet known, and you're still going to another country. How does that work?
Look, it's all boils down to the team and how vested are you in the business. So once you got your strategy right, everything planned right, anything else that you didn't plan, it's a bonus. Because our industry is not regulated to start with. So as long as we have this plan to fall back into, then we know we'll be achieving things outside the country, inside and outside. And with the team that we have at Delight, then they'll be able to achieve everything that we've put in place in the terms and in these time frames that we have set in place. Yeah.